Hey there and welcome to Matt's Garage. Well, today I'm going to be cleaning and detailing the inside of my mom's car, and I'm going to be fully cleaning and conditioning the leather. And I wanted to show you the process I use because I think it works pretty well. I've used it on a lot of different cars, and I think this will clean up nice and really pop with the orange inserts there, so I figured it would be a nice one to do a video on. We'll do the steering wheel too. So basically the first step here is going to be, of course, to vacuum everything. So I got this nice powerful shop vacuum, and I went ahead and cleaned up the end of it, the crevice tool and everything, so that I won't get any trash on the seat. And then I've got this special upholstery cleaning brush. This is a mother's brush, actually. I just got off of Amazon. I have another one that's a bit bigger that I've used in past videos, but couldn't find it today, and it's getting pretty worn out. So, and then you need some microfiber rags just to wipe off the excess cleaner. And the cleaner I like to use is this Meguiar's Gold Class leather cleaner. Works really good, I find. So I guess I'll let you judge that for yourself when we get going here and you see the results. I think you'll be pretty impressed. So one of the main things we're going to be focused on here when we're vacuuming is holding these seams apart, and you can see all that dirt that's trapped in the seam, and that's normally what busts these seams open, is you get that dirt build up in there and it just eats away at the material right along the seam. So we're going to get all that out of there. You don't want to scrub that in when you're cleaning either, and I just kind of go over the whole thing, and just especially when it has these vented leather holes, you want to go over that and make sure there's no debris in there, because if there's a little pebble or something trapped in there, it can get caught under your brush and cause a scrape in the leather. One thing worth mentioning is I don't like to just scrape this hard plastic tool against the seat. So what I like to do is just kind of guide it along with my fingers, and this is a powerful enough vacuum, I don't have to lock it right down. The same thing with the seams, I kind of spread them and then I just dab it in there. I don't rub it along the seam, just to be clear. Okay, well there you go. It took me like 5 minutes just to vacuum the base here really good, and so it's going to take me half an hour, 45 minutes just to vacuum out the interior. I'm going to, of course, go over all the carpets and stuff. Just giving you a quick overview of the back seat. Of course, it has a little less wear back there. So make sure whatever brush you choose has nice soft bristles. You don't want to have anything like a toothbrush because it will end up scratching the leather. I just wanted to show you, you can see there's still some grit in that seam. So I'm just going to go in there with my brush now, dry, and you can see I was able to brush that right out. Now I'll just go back over that with the vacuum again. So that's another thing you can do if your seat's really gritty like that and you're having trouble getting it all out with the vacuum. It doesn't hurt to just dry brush those seams a little bit and just work the grit out. And then we'll be of course brushing the cleaner all in there and working it in with this brush. Okay, so one thing we do have to be careful here is there's some fabric at the back of the seat that we don't want to get the cleaner on. So we'll try and avoid that. I like to wet the brush with the cleaner before I get started, and then I kind of try and do it panel by panel so that it doesn't dry up on me. So I'll just focus on this front area here first, and I just work it around kind of in circles, because that keeps the bristles standing up and kind of works them into the pores from all different angles. And then of course when you get to a seam, you spread that seam and you work down it. I could actually see in the back seats when I was vacuuming and I spread the seams like this, you could see where it was really dull in the seam and it was a bit shinier everywhere else, because somebody has conditioned these seats before. They just didn't do a very good job. This rag, I'm going to be using that to wipe off the excess, but first you want to work it into the area. You want to keep the area all wet. Work the cleaner around for quite a while so that it has a chance to work into the leather and really absorb in. There's like some foreign material here, so I'm just giving that a little extra attention. I'm not sure if that's foreign material or somebody may have repaired the leather there, so I'm not going to go at it too hard. It's not lifting out of there easily, so I don't want to do damage. So now I will wipe that back off, and you can certainly go over a panel more than once to get the results you want. Because if it's really dirty, you'll notice, see how much dirt's coming off already. So sometimes it's good to go over it a couple times if it's really dirty. Or another thing I'll do sometimes is wet a rag down with the cleaner really good and just pre-wipe all the seats with that, and then I'll go around after with the brush. So we'll just go over this a bit more. And now that we've lifted most of that dirt out of there, we can actually just leave that on there a bit, and we'll work on this next little panel here. You'll notice that this has got a lot of dirt down in the wrinkles of it and stuff there, so we'll see how that cleans up here in a minute. See, as I go, my cloth is getting a little damp, and I actually like to have it a little damp for the wipe off, but it gets that way pretty quick, and then I'll go back over the whole seat a few times and just keep wiping conditioner on it. You definitely don't want to let this stuff just dry thick like this, because it will get all streaky. That's why I just work a small area at a time here. Of course, the sides don't need near as much work, but I still like to use the brush because it works it into the pores of the leather a little nicer. You just go around your seat switch if you have one here. This one has a heated seat switch here, so work around that with my brush. This stuff's fine to get on the plastic parts of the interior too. Just don't get it on the anything fabric or anything carpeted. I think the shifter boot's vinyl here, but I'll just go over it quick too. Okay, now that my rag's a little damp, I just keep wiping back over what I've already done, just to keep it kind of wet for a while, but evenly so. And as you go, you'll just notice it will get a little bit of a nice sheen to it. Refresh it a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to do the back, and I think I did make some progress here, because this really pops compared to the back. The back, the orange looks kind of all dull and faded, and this really pops down here now compared to it. So I'm going to keep going here. This is actually one of the higher wear areas on the seat, and you can see this one's starting to see the effects of that, but it's not too bad actually. Don't get it too heavy on this ventilated leather here, of course, because it goes right through it. You don't want to have this cleaner oozing out of there a week later or something. Now up here on the tops and the sides, I normally just wipe it, to be honest, because it gets very little wear or soiling there. This armrest is plastic, but this will still clean out the pores of it. Okay, so I've shown you this complete process on this one seat. It's going to be the same for the rest of them. And then I'll go ahead and show you my process on the steering wheel here in a second. And other than that, I'll just show you the overview of when everything's done here. And I wasn't thinking, but you should actually start with the steering wheel, because now I've done the driver's seat and now I'm going to be sitting in it while I clean the steering wheel. And that's not very good because it kind of dulls it out, so I'll just have to wipe it down again after I clean the steering wheel here. Okay, well, there's really not a lot of difference here, other than there's generally a lot of oils, especially worked in around the stitching and stuff. And also you want to be careful not to spray on the carpet and on the gauges and stuff, so you might even want to put a trash bag down on the floor of your car or something to prevent that. But what I normally do is I'll hold the rag behind it and I'll just gently spray like that. Then I just, of course, again, just work a small area at once, even smaller on the steering wheel, because there's so much oils and stuff that's going to break loose and you're going to have to get busy wiping right away. So hold your rag under there too, so that your brush isn't spraying around the inside of the car. And just I kind of start on the stitching because that's where things really build up. And this one's really bad. It's already, you can just see tons of stuff breaking loose, basically oils from your fingers, and that's what breaks down the leather too, so you want to get that off of there. Okay, I'll just show you here. It's going to come out right black. See, that's just from a little area, so we're just going to keep working around like that basically. And I'll definitely go over it a few times everywhere, because that's the only way you're going to get the results you're looking for. You want to get all in around where it meets the plastic. This stuff won't hurt the plastic one bit, so I just can't understand why somebody didn't think to put orange stitching in this, because with all the rest of the interior in black and orange, it would have looked really cool. I guess it would have got dirty pretty quick, but it would have been worth cleaning. It would have looked so neat if those were orange stitches. So I actually have quite a bit of experience doing this kind of work. I used to own a carpet and upholstery cleaning business, and I didn't really do much leather cleaning, but it's basically the same principle. So I've done a lot of carpet and upholstery cleaning. I was IIC RC certified at one point. I've since let it lapse, but I took all the training courses. I was actually a master textile cleaner, certified master textile cleaner. Not quite as fancy as it sounds, but I am more than qualified to clean this steering wheel. You can see most of that is from the steering wheel. Pretty gross. That's all oils from your fingers and stuff. So I'm just going to wipe off my brush really good before I go around that again, because there's probably some gunge actually built up on it. See, that's all off the brush right there. I would be wearing gloves, but this is my mom's car, so it's not like it's contaminated or anything. I do recommend wearing gloves though. Okay, well, you can see how much nicer that looks after I've gone over it a second time. I still got to go over this area a second time, so I will do that, plus finish up the seats. I'll grab a fresh rag for them, and then I'll get back with you and show you the results. Okay guys, well, you can see it's so late here that it's dark already, so I'm just using some lights to show you, and I'll show you again tomorrow in the daylight. And this one I'll have to re-wipe tomorrow because it will end up looking patchy, because I really put a lot of conditioner on it. I just kept wiping more and more on to get it looking as good as the rest, because it was the most worn. But as you can see, it worked. It really pops. It really improved a lot. It's certainly not perfect. Probably looks a little better on camera than it is actually, but yeah, I'm happy with the results. In any case, in the steering wheel, you can see there's some wear on the top of the steering wheel there, but not too bad for the age and the miles on the car. It's held up well. And then of course in the back here, cleaned up really nice. There's like a couple little spots that I just couldn't quite get off, but overall really nice. I used door panels. I don't think this is leather for sure, that's just vinyl there, so I just wiped that. I wiped everything down with the same cleaner. On the passenger side here, you can see turned out equally nice, but there are just a few stains back here, and what happens sometimes is if somebody gets a new pair of pants, new pair of jeans or whatever, a bit of the color can rub off on the leather, and that's really challenging to get that off when that happens. Or something like that's probably like a mark from a pen, like an ink stain. Check out those original Dream Cruiser floor mats. We keep them covered up, of course, but this car is in amazing shape for its age, actually. Okay guys, there you have it. This is the next day, kind of a dreary day out. It rained already, but you can have a look at the seats, and actually they look better than I expected. Sometimes it really absorbs in and they really kind of fade out, but it looks a little more faded out over on that side actually, because I didn't use quite as much conditioner. I should have probably hit the base there with another coat or two, but this one that I hit heavily with the conditioner, you can see why I did it. It really restores it and brightens it all up. Even nicer in the back seat. Pretty much looks like showroom perfect back here. So I hope you found this video helpful and informative. Thanks a lot for watching Matt's Garage. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for a whole lot more PT Cruiser content, and have yourself an awesome day.